All right, back in action here. If y'all need a great massage, give Melody a call at Herbs and More. Matthew, I know you look like you're in tip-top shape. You probably don't need anything. Dee, what are you talking about today?
Just 3 podcasts that I've just done recently that turned out really well. One was Rick White, who was a pastor in Franklin, Tennessee for a long time.
He's really involved in Woodlawn.
Yeah, he was. Rick was very, very involved with that.
He was just in Athens over the weekend.
He stayed with Dusty.
With
Wayne White,
Yeah, so you appreciate the use of the studio, but Rick had some really interesting things to say. He's been a pastor for over 40 years, and he is friends with other pastors that are really pastoring massive churches. So he had some interesting things to say about the future of the church, what the local church
is. Bad?
I don't know that it's either one. It's just the state of the church. I'm sorry?
It's changing.
Not just Baptist churches, but all churches?
Yeah, just
they're all.
every,
how many churches close in the United States a year? Should have got Dan up here. He probably knows.
You know, that number used to be massive. I think it's more pastors quit every year than churches close, but both of those numbers are still really,
really high. Why all the pastors quitting?
I'm sorry?
Why all the pastors quitting? Pressure?
I think there's pressure. Some of it's financial. You know, because there are some people in churches who kind of have the attitude about their pastors as, God, you keep them humble and we'll keep them poor.
Ooh. Is that true, Dan?
Emmanuel takes good care of me.
I'm not a pastor now anymore, so I can say this stuff, Dan, so we won't put you on the spot.
But you used to be.
Yeah, for 11 years. So I think that's part of it. The pressure, some unrealistic expectations. And the
pastors screw up, too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I think the other thing, I was having this conversation with another friend a couple weeks ago, I think churches have to come up with new metrics to determine how good of a job a pastor is doing. Because it used to be, you know, attendance, giving, and baptisms. If all 3 of those were on an upward trend, then everything was fine.
Well, man, if you paid on baptisms, they'd be getting down to Salvation Army.
Well, yeah. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people get dumped 3 or 4 times in Baptist life, especially. I can't speak for other churches just because of my experience is Southern Baptist. But Rick had some really interesting things to say. In fact, I tell anybody who's a pastor or is in a church that really cares about their pastor, get them to listen to Rick's interview. It's on my website, dlauderdale.com. He just a very wise man. And then Monday I was in Tuscaloosa, interviewed Andy Phillips, who's an assistant baseball coach at Alabama, who has an interesting record from when he played Major League Baseball. He played for the Yankees. His first game, his first at bat was against the Red Sox in Fenway Park. First pitch, he hits a home run.
Yeah, there's a couple hundred guys that done that before?
No, 21 had done it, and 8 of them were Yankees, which I thought was an amazing statistic. And Andy's a very strong believer. His wife went through cancer when they were pregnant with their first child, and Andy just has a great story. It'll be out Tuesday.
What about the other great celebrity you interviewed?
Bob Labby.
Bob Labby. Thank you for reminding. Yeah, that's actually the episode I put out yesterday. Bob Labby, your buddy, former sports guy at 31 forever. I mean, forever and ever and ever. And Bob had some good stuff to say. It was an interesting interview.
I bet he did. Yet I was your first victim on podcast.
You were.
Brad's working on a 2-hour special to put that together now. Probably finished by the day.
It turned out really good. It's funny. The 2 I did in Tuscaloosa will make episode 30. And it's amazing. I mean, I love doing it, and I enjoy doing it more even now, but I go back and listen to some of those old ones, and it's been such a learning curve because I didn't know how to do it.
Do we need to redo mine?
No, yours.
See, you don't have a problem asking me a question because I'll answer it.
Well, but you didn't like being asked questions.
It was a little uncomfortable in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, you go watch the video, the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes of it, and Bob was the same way. I don't know, what is it with you guys that do interviews that don't like being interviewed?
Because he's usually in control of an interview.
I think that's a lot of it was. But Labby told me he got in the ring with Muhammad Ali, and he asked Bear Bryant the last question at his last press conference after the Liberty Bowl.
Would you stop it? You guys are always so competitive.
That's your boy.
I like Bobby.
I mean, come on.
And he's the only one that can fill in for me, right? I did tell him that one.
Right.
Time to change.
That he can handle it.
Zach's number 1 now. Zach can fill in over here for about a minute and a half.
He can, I mean, give him some words of wisdom, and Zach could be fine. And then the last guy I interviewed was Lance Cormier, who was a pitcher in the big leagues as well, and he had some interesting things to say about
Okay,
making the
big dog. We
transition.
interviewed Mickey Lolich up at Lynchburg, Tennessee a couple years ago.
Yep.
What's his claim to fame?
World Series.
I don't know.
Won 3 games in Detroit Tigers World Series, didn't he, Rick?
He did.
3 games. See, I knew Rick knows his baseball.
68.
68. See, I knew Rick. Matthew, what's going on out at Chick-fil-A? Anybody interviewed you lately?
No, I don't get interviewed. I don't know why not. I mean, I guess I'm just a nobody, but maybe one day. So, but no, just getting ready for the holidays. So if you're going to have a party, get together, call us. So a new thing we have is we've had a Chick-fil-A app for a while, but you can do something called mobile ordering. So if you download it, you can put in your information. It comes up with your name. It'll say good morning, good afternoon, and you can and so from the app you can place an order, and then when you get to the store you check in, and we'll have your order to the end of the counter. I mean, you can pay and everything on your
Everything's
phone.
going to mobile devices.
So it cuts out standing in line at the counter.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
So it saves you time. So,
All right,
so download the app.
We're off next week. We'll see y'all in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Don't be showing up next Wednesday.
Have a good trip.
I won't.
All right, thank y'all for getting up with us. Go out with Wade this morning, all the way from Lawrence County, Alabama. Mr. Wade Oliver. Y'all hang on.
Local and loving it. When the storm of life surrounds me and I'm struggling everywhere, Jesus is my only shelter from the storms and Satan's snares. Jesus is my only shelter through the storms. He'll safely lead. Trust in Him, and He will save you, give you life abundantly. On the cross at Mount Calvary, Satan said, Christ is dead, but the third day He was risen, and He crushed old Satan's head. Jesus is my only shelter through the storms. He'll safely lead. Trust in Him, and He will save you.